how we do things. But the reason why we wanted to do this is we've been talking a lot about our secret podcast and how it's the behind the scenes of getting our Evergreen system up and running, and getting that working to get to six-figure months. And so we had a real big response to the podcast the last few days, and we wanted to go a little bit deeper. And so today I really want to walk you through our Evergreen system. We touch upon it in the podcast, so if you've been through it, that'll be a good primer. I want to go a lot deeper today, and I also want to make sure it's customized to your business. And so I do want to take my time to pause and make sure you guys are understanding it, that you guys can actually leave with something to implement today, and take action on. So as we go through this, if you have questions, like please open up and chat or put it into the chat, and I will take a minute and go through this. So I guess I should pause and just introduce myself. My name is Dan Culver. I am Nicole's husband and business partner. I call myself the chief funnel architect in our business. That is because I am in charge of all the traffic, all the leads, and all the sales. So I'm mostly on the marketing side, and we've built out this rich niche lead system over the last, I would say, 3 to 4 years. We've been in the online business for about 12 years. We had a Facebook ads agency for 7. We've been doing ads for launches for Evergreen, and this is the system we've built over the last 4 years that have allowed us to go from like $15,000 months to now $100,000, $200,000 months consistently. And so the reason, I think one of the main reasons we've been able to scale our business so quickly and so efficiently is because our sole focus has been getting on sales every single week. And so that is the Evergreen piece of our process. Is the main metric we measure for ourselves and for our clients is, did we get sales this week? And just having this focus changes what you work on, changes what you measure, and changes the actions you take. And so I think this is a really big important piece to just kind of go over today. Is just by making that decision, I'm going to try to get sales every single week. It will change what you work on in your business, and it'll change your focus, which will change the trajectory. So if nothing else, 2 minutes in, if you can change anything in your business, I would challenge you to make more sales. The other reason why I think this is so important is there's been a seismic shift in the online marketplace. I believe this goes back to 2021. But before 2021, there used to be this golden rule of more leads equaled more sales. So the only thing you needed to worry about was getting more leads. And for this, by the magic of online marketing, those leads would translate into more sales. And what happened in 2020 or 2021 was that relationship broke. More leads do not equal more sales. And this is a really important piece of why so many people are struggling, is because they're still operating with the old system of just collecting leads is enough. Just getting leads is not good enough. We need qualified leads. We need leads who are willing and ready to buy from us. And so that's the other piece of the puzzle that I wanted to talk about today, is how do we actually attract qualified leads who are actually looking for a solution to their problems that we do not need to convince. And so that's, I want to dive into that today. But before I go on, I'd really love to know a little bit more about you. So I'd love to, if you could just put it in the chat, what clients do you work with and where are you from? So where are you calling in from and what type of clients do you work with? My Perry, Georgia, I work with birthing clients as their dueling childbirth educator. Awesome. Awesome. Cherish. Cheryl is from Texas, empowerment coach. That's great. Lexi, Arizona, interior designer. Okay. We're in Arizona a fair amount. We are based in New York. We're in Long Island, Rockville Center, if anyone is from here. Yeah, and we primarily work with experts to set up their Evergreen sales system so they can get qualified leads every single day and sales every week. And so I've got a few exercises I want to go through. And before I do, I guess I should ask, with your clients, are you currently selling with like a launch model where you're selling sometimes and serving other times, or are you selling with an evergreen model where you're selling all the time? And if you're a little bit confused by these terms, launch is just simply you have a few days or weeks where you're selling, and then for the rest of the time you do not have anything for sale. Evergreen is usually where you have something for sale all of the time. A lot of people use like countdown timers or some type of urgency to get people to buy more often, but they have a product for sale all the time. All right, Cam's from Vancouver, helping people get out of pain with functional training. Awesome. All right, Cherish is Evergreen, Lexi's Evergreen, Patty's from Oregon. Yes, hello, Patty. Okay, awesome. So I've got a few exercises. I've got two exercises that I want to go through today. And then, yeah, as we go through them, if you have any questions, just feel free to open up or put it in the chat, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to jump in, and I do want this to be a talk with you, not talk at you. So if I do go too fast or if anything's unclear, don't be afraid to just throw your hand up, and I can stop. So this first exercise that I wanted to walk through is called the 4 futures. And so over here on the right, we have 4 boxes. And what I want to start thinking about is 3 years out, what do we want to happen? And so this first box up here, this is going to be our amazing outcome. So in a perfect world, 3 years from now, what would your business be doing in terms of revenue, and how often would you be working? And if you want to have a bonus question, what would you be doing inside the business? So if you could just answer those 3 questions, you could put it in the chat. If you have a piece of paper, definitely write it down. But what would your business be doing in terms of income? How many hours a week would you be working? And what would you be doing for those hours? Now, the reason we say 3 years out is because I wanted to give enough space where it's not super stressful and really challenge you to think big, really, really big. This is like I've never told anyone this before. This is kind of scary, but this is really what I want to be doing. The other reason why I choose 3 years is it's not 10 years out. It's not so far out that it's not tangible. And so 3 years is kind of my magic number, where it's far enough out that I can really dream big, but it's not so far that I don't think it's never going to happen, or I think it's never going to happen. So if you could put in the chat, I'd love to hear your thoughts. But what would be your ultimate amazing goal 3 years from now with your business? Oh, hi, Selena. From the Georgia mountains. As a glow boss, I guide women to tap into their alter ego and crush self-doubt. I have a done for you program and one-on-one coaching. I'll be 100K per month, leading retreats a few times a year. Awesome. Congrats, Selena. That's amazing. So if you don't want to share your numbers, just hit done in the chat so I know we can move on. But if you do, I would love to see that. So Cherish wants to do 20 hours a week, 6 to 7 figures, maintaining evergreens and ads. Awesome. So that's what I was going to put for the top number up here. Is I was going to put $100,000 per month, and I was going to put 10 hours per week. The reason why we ask about the hours is because we want to talk about a scalable business today. And one of the things about the Evergreen system is we don't want this overtaking your life, and we don't want you working 40 hours a week so that you can work 10. And so one of the principles that we stand on is that we want you to work the hours you want to work in 3 years. We want you to work them now, and we want you to get to that income as quickly as possible. So it sounds like the $100,000 a month and 10 hours a week is pretty similar for most people. So the next piece we're going to move is we're going to move down to this yellow box. Well, I'm coloring it yellow now. And what this is this is the good, but not great. So if $100,000 per month and 10 hours a week is great, what is good? What is a little bit less than that, and a little bit, usually most people choose a little bit less money, a little bit more time, but this would still good. This is still a good outcome. It's just not great. Patty is half-time work, 50K per month profit from Evergreen. I'll be building programs and digital items. Awesome. So for my good, I'm just going to do a little bit of math, and I'm going to say 80K per month, and I'm going to say 20 hours per week. Again, not terrible, but not as good as the green ultimate outcome. And now, just to kind of break the rules, I'm going to add a box here, and I would love to know what you're doing now. So in your business, where are you currently? What is your current monthly revenue? How many hours a week are you working? This is really just an opportunity to reflect on where you are versus where we want to be. It doesn't mean good, bad, or anything. It's just as a data point. What is your current monthly revenue? An easy way to think about this is just last month. What did you make last month? And how many hours did you work last week? If you want to do averages, you can certainly do that as well. Then once you're done with the now, we've got these two other boxes down here. I'm not going to fill them in. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but we do have to recognize that there's some other opportunities here. There's the opportunity that things go sideways, just not as well as we planned, and it goes kind of bad. That would be orange. And then red is kind of the disaster. you quit you stop being an entrepreneur, you get a full-time job, move back in with your parents, whatever the thing is that you don't want to do, that would be the red box. Again, I don't want to think about this too much, but we have to understand that it is a potential. Cam, I get it. 10,000 hours a week is a lot. So we definitely want to get away from that. So the reason these boxes over here on the right is to understand that this is 3 years out. And then over here on the left is now. And this is where we are now. And so our job is to figure out where we are now and how to get to the box that we want to be at. Most of us want to be at the green box, while recognizing we could be at the orange box, the yellow box, or even the red box down here. And the reason why I love this exercise so much is because this is now, and this is 3 years from now. And what's interesting is that over here, this gap is pretty big between the lines. It's kind of like Abraham Hicks has this great saying. It's like, you've jumped out of the plane without a parachute. Hang on, it'll be over soon. Like, there's really nothing you can do over here to overcome these gaps. But over here on the left side, these gaps are relatively small. So we can make some slight tweaks to your business that is going to move you up a line. That's going to have an immediate impact on your business, but it's also going to have a huge trajectory 3 years down the line. So if we can change you from the orange line to the yellow line, it may not feel that different right now, but 6 months from now, it's going to feel dramatically different. And 3 years from now, it's going to feel even more different. And so this is what we're really working on, is we want to make the small tweaks to your business that are going to have a fairly good impact on your business now, but also a dramatic impact 3 months, 6 months down the road, and then compounding on that. Now, the other reason why I love this exercise is because when most people are launching with a launch model, they only know what line they're on, because the line is based on sales. It's based on revenue. So if your Instagram audience goes up by 10,000 followers, it does not mean you've made $10,000 extra. It just means you have 10,000 extra followers. So when you're in the launch model, you're missing out on data. So you might have one launch and it's up here and you're feeling great, you're on top of the world. 3 months later, you do a launch, you're down here, you feel like crap, you're in the middle, you're on the, and then maybe 3 months later, you do another launch. You're missing out on data, and you're not being able to make the small tweaks that allow you to consistently make improvements to your business. Now, when we do evergreen sales, I mentioned to you that one of our goals is to get sales every single week. The reason we do that, yes, cash flow, getting sales in the door, getting money in the door is definitely helpful. But the other reason we do it is data. Because if you're here on the orange line and we see the sales going up, we can track what we're doing and we can understand why things are getting better. Conversely, if we start hitting a slow patch and we start going down, we can understand, okay, something here is not working, and we can draw a little floor and say, wow, we've got to make some serious course corrections to get this back to where we want to be going. And this allows us to make small little tweaks and see how things start improving so we can get better and better and better every single week. And this is one of the most surprising things that we get from our clients is they come back to us 3 months later or even 4 months later and they go, wow, I don't feel like I've made that many big changes in my business, but revenue wise, I've three times my revenue, or I've even 10 times my revenue in 4 months. And it's because we're just consistently monitoring the sales and consistently monitoring the cash flow and making those small tweaks to make the adjustments to get the business more profitable. Does anyone have any questions on this in terms of just like overview or thoughts, ideas? Getting some no's. All right, cool. The question that some people usually have is, all right, this is great, but what is it that I actually do to actually do this work? And so that's the next exercise I wanted to walk you through is what do we actually work on? And so for starters, I want to take this green goal here up here on the top right, and we're just going to write it in the middle of the triangle. So I'm going to write down $100,000 per month and 10 hours per week. This is the goal that we're working towards. This is our North Star. This is where we are headed. And in order to get there, we need to work on 3 things. And the first is we need to work on leads. And so what I'd love to just kind of know so we can have a bellwether is how is your business doing at attracting an engaged audience? So that means your audience is growing, but it's also engaging. So what I'd love to know is just like a stoplight system. Green is awesome. My business is doing a great job at attracting an audience of engaged followers. My audience talks back to me and it's growing. Yellow is it's inconsistent. Sometimes my audience grows, sometimes it doesn't, and I don't really know what actions I do to cause the results. And then red is, this is a big area for me to work on. I have a quiet audience. My audience is not growing. They're not engaged. That would be red. So if you could just put a green, yellow, or red into the chat, that would be awesome. All right, Patty's red, Selma's red. Okay, Cam's yellow. We got the red stop sign. I love that. All right, so I'm going to highlight this. Looks like pretty red. I'll go orange because we do have a few yellows. So we're going to go with orange, a light red. So that's what we need to work on. Now, how we work on this with our clients is we work on 3 things. The first is we need to learn our money magnet words. And Patty, I know you and I touched upon this, I think it was this morning when we chatted, but all of you here are experts, which is amazing. And what it means when you're an expert is you have the ability to get people, your clients, some amazing results. And that's awesome. The curse of the expert is that you know too much. And because you know so much, you don't understand how much you know, and you have some trouble understanding how little your audience knows, which causes you to usually talk above your audience. You're talking to your audience as if they are colleagues when they are really second graders. And so what we really need to do is we need to understand the words that are attracting an audience to us. And what happens with most experts is you're describing the problems your people are having and the results you want, but the words you are using to describe those problems and results are not the same words that your audience is using. And because you're not using those same words, your audience views you as out of touch. They say, you don't understand me. You must not be talking about me because I'm describing my problem this way, but you're saying this other thing, which I don't really understand. And so the first piece of getting more sales is understanding how to talk to our audience in a way that actually attracts them to us. And so that's where the money magnet words come in, is we need to learn these. The easiest way to learn these words is to listen to your audience, whether that is in DMs, in Facebook groups, on calls, wherever you can get access to them, get access, listen, write down what words they are using to describe their problems and their desires. Once we have that, we need to start speaking to our rich niche. Now, we have an entire training on our rich niche. If you want to go through this, I can give it to you for free. It's usually an opt-in, but we'll just send you the training. Just email us and just say rich niche, and we will just respond back with the video. You can go watch it. It's a deep dive. It's an extremely important training, and this is why. 90% of the marketing out there is convincing people to have a desire to change. And those people come into your program and they also need to be convinced to take action. And when this happens, it creates this cycle of convincing, and it creates a lot of resentment, and it creates a lot of problems in your business. When we can flip this around and actually target our rich niche of people who are actively looking for solutions to their problems and may actually be doing well and want to do better, it attracts a higher quality lead who takes action faster. They buy faster, they take action inside your program faster, they get better results. And now it creates a lot of momentum. Making this slight shift in your messaging can dramatically change your business. It changes who you talk to, it changes who buys from you, it changes the results your clients get, it changes your confidence levels. I can't oversell this enough, how important this process is. And so we have a whole training on this that I would definitely recommend you guys go through. Now, once we have our money magnet words and what's we're speaking to our rich niche, the next piece that we need to look at is cash conversations. Because if we're using money magnet words and we're talking to our rich niche, people should start talking back to us. And when this happens, those conversations need to turn into sales. And those sales create cash. So hence cash conversations. The reason why this is so important is this is our first step to understand if we're getting qualified leads. Are we getting leads who are willing to invest in a change? If we are, we can complete phase one and move on. If we are not, we can make some slight tweaks, again, minor tweaks to our money magnet words, to our rich niche, and to our conversations until we start to get consistent sales. Does this make sense to everyone? Does anyone have any questions on that? All right, got some thumbs up, which is always good. Okay. So the next piece after we get the lead set up, where we have to go is we have to work on conversions. So I'm going to ask you the same question with the stoplight is, with your business, how do you feel like your business is doing at converting leads into sales? Green is amazing. When I talk to someone, it's an easy sale. It works really well for me. Yellow is it's inconsistent. Sometimes I get sales, sometimes I don't. And then red is this is a big area that I can work on. I'm struggling a lot to get sales. Okay, we got some reds and green. Lexi's a green, Cherish is a yellow. Okay, Patty's a yellow. Okay, awesome. So I think I'm going to put this as a yellow somewhere in the middle. Now, when we work with our clients again on, oh, that is ugly, on getting conversions, we work on three things. This first is our scalable selling system. When we're working on phase one, we basically only need 100 people in our audience. If we can have 100 people, whether they're followers, email subscribers, I don't care if you're going door to door, if you can talk to 100 people, we can get those conversations working and we can start getting sales. Where this changes is when we step into phase two is we start scaling this up. We want to start reaching more people. We want to do it in a way that creates more income, but we want to do it also in a way that's not taking up more of our time. So the scalable selling system is how we take what's working with our cash conversations and turn them into a system that gets sales for us every single week. And we know this scalable system is working when, surprisingly enough, we get sales every week. And I mentioned this in the beginning. For us, one of the most important data points, no, the most important data point is sales. Are we getting sales every single week? If we are getting sales, it shows us that the system is working. If we are not getting sales, it shows us that something in the system is not working and we need to fix it. Neither one of them is a huge problem, but we have to monitor this and we have to be ready to make some adjustments. And so once we do start getting sales every single week, now we can even go after a colder audience. And this is where we start doing collaborations, Facebook ads, partnerships, affiliates. This is where it really gets fun. And the way we bring our leads in and get more sales that way is we use our multiple chance selling system. And the reason we do this is, one, we want to reduce the pressure on you. most selling systems out there rely on one-time events, whether it's a launch event, a webinar, some type of training. You have one opportunity to sell to these people. And if something goes bad, if something goes ugly, you have to wait a few months before you sell to that person again. With our system, we have multiple chances to sell. So what that means is that we have opportunities for people to buy in the beginning of the funnel, in the middle, and throughout the time that they're with us. And the way we do this is we have multiple funnels running at the same time. So we're basically building a three-legged stool instead of a one-legged stool. And so this allows us to have multiple opportunities to sell. It allows us to get a higher return on our ad spend if we are investing in ads. And then the other thing it does is it provides us a little bit of protection, a little bit of insurance, is that if something goes wonky with one of our funnels and the conversions start to dip, we still have at least two other funnels that are running that can get us sales. And so this is the important piece that I see a lot of people come to us with, is they say, hey, I've got a webinar funnel, but I'm not sure if the conversions are good or not. How do I know if I can scale this? And I say, I don't really know. It's a tough question. But if we can leverage the webinar funnel to get sales the way you've been getting them, and we can build another funnel to get more sales from those exact same leads, we can double your sales with the same amount of effort you're putting in. And so most people are asking the wrong question. They're asking, how can I get more sales from my one funnel? Whereas what they should be asking is, how can I create an ecosystem that is consistently serving my clients in a way that gets them ready to buy from me? All right, no problem, Vanessa. And then any questions on this? Any questions on the conversions, taking leads and turning them into sales? Questions, thoughts, ideas? So Selena, that's a great question. It's how do I create a funnel that converts? Part of that answer is by starting over on this left side and understanding your money magnet words, understanding a rich niche, and understanding how to get those people to come in and buy. And then the second piece of it is holding yourself to getting sales every single week. When we can monitor and make slight adjustments every single week, we will start with a funnel that converts well and make it convert even better. Or we'll start with a funnel that converts every once in a while and make it convert all the time. Or we can even scale that funnel. And so the easiest way to create a funnel that converts is, it's like, how do you eat an elephant? It's like one piece at a time. It's unpacking all the pieces of the funnel and then making sure each piece of the funnel is operating as optimal as possible. And then as time goes on, just monitoring what piece is underperforming and what piece potentially is overperforming that we should spend more time in. So for example, if we have a Facebook ads funnel and we are monitoring the cost per lead, cost per application, cost per sales call, we can see which piece of the funnel is doing really well and which piece of the funnel is not doing as well. We do this because we're consistently monitoring what our results are, and we're trying to get better every single week. So if our cost per lead is $15 to start, we want to get it down to 12. If our cost per sale is, I don't know, $100, we want to get it down to 80. So we're always working to optimize things, but we need to run that baseline so we understand where we're starting. And so that's the other piece of what I think a lot of people struggle with, is there's no specific metric that is the holy metric that everyone must do. Every business, every industry, every offer is a little bit different. And so that's why inside of our program, there's so much customization and there's so much one-to-one time, is so that we can customize the program to you, to your business, to your needs, to your lifestyle. So Selena, I know that's a little bit complicated of a question, but if you want to open up, we can chat through more specifics. All right. And now the last piece of it is the leads and the conversions are primarily focused on income. Is how are we getting more leads coming in and how are we getting more leads to buy? But remember, I mentioned to you, we do worry about time. We do want to make sure that we're not working more. And so one of the ways that we do that is we focus on scalable service. And the best way to kind of understand scalable service is if you were to get, if you were to get 100 sales today, if you, a genie popped up and granted you 100 sales, of those 100 sales, how many people would get the result that you promised them without it changing your lifestyle? So if you were a one-to-one technician and you got 100 sales, you would have to bust your butt to get all 100 of those people and the result that they were promised. Conversely, if you had an evergreen course that you didn't touch anything, you may be able to get, it may not change your lifestyle, but you may not be able to get all 100 of those people the result they were promised. So what I would love to know is if it's 100, if it's like 90 to 100, I would say that would be green. 60 to 90 would be yellow. I get most of the people a result. And then red is there's really not a way that I could promise more than 60 people the result, or I wouldn't see 60 people get the result out of the 100 without it affecting my lifestyle. Yeah, so that would be red. So Selena, looks like you're definitely a green. And that's great. Yeah, we'll definitely send you the rich niche training. Nice. Another green. Okay, perfect. All right, we got some greens. All right, so I'm going to call it for the greens. Now, when we, again, working with our clients, what we work on in order to keep their service scalable is the first thing that we teach them is our tiny promise timeline. One of the biggest questions we get from our audience is, how do I take my existing program and deliver it all the time while I'm still selling? And the other caveat of this is I can sell, it's easy for me to deliver my program when I have a specific start and end date. But when it's all the time, I get confused. And the way we fix this is we actually use our tiny promise timeline. And just to kind of draw it out for a second, is it's a triangle on its side. This is where they start, and this is the end result that they want. And what the tiny promise timeline does is it actually breaks the calendar. It actually gives our clients freedom from our calendar. So if we were to start a cohort on October 1st, we'd start it on October 1st because it's best for us. It may not be best for you. And when we can reverse this and use the tiny promise timeline, we can have the program available all the time. And instead of using a calendar to say week 1 is this, week 2 is week 3 is this, we actually use milestones. And these milestones are tiny promises. And these tiny promises build on each other. And what this does, it creates momentum and it creates trust. So our people are getting small wins that are adding on to each other, that increase their momentum, increase their confidence in us, increase their trust in the program. And so they're willing to take more risks and take more action with our content. And where this leads is it leads to them getting the end result. The other beauty of this is that we can track where people are falling off. So if someone is starting up here and then they end up off the triangle, we can be like, whoa, what happened here? Do we need to give them more support? Do we need a group call? Do we need to fix that video? Do we need some other type of resource? And so the other piece of the tiny promise timeline is we can very closely track results. Our goal is for more of your clients to get amazing results in your program. And the way we track this is we actually track the data inside your program. We show you how to track the results that your people are getting and repeatedly and often ask for feedback on the program. We do this because most people are tracking their results up here in the leads and sales part of it, but very few people are tracking their results down here in their service. And so when we can do this, the reason we do this for a business reason is because the better results we get, the more renewals we get, and the more referrals we get. And honestly, this is yet another way that we can usually double or triple your revenue, is by just getting you more renewals and more referrals. If every sale you got turned into 2 sales or turned into 3 sales, what would that do for your business? Most people are not tracking how to do this or turning this into a system. What we want to do is support you to turn this into a system. It makes every lead more valuable. It makes every sale more valuable, and it makes your business a lot more profitable because you put a ton of work into getting more leads and more sales. If we can turn more of those sales into longer term customers, and if we can turn more of those sales into more sales, it's just going to help the health of your business. So I'm just going to kind of zoom out and pause here because I probably came at you like a fire hose. Does anyone have any questions? Is this fairly easy to understand, or is there anything that's sticking out in your head as a question? Okay. Oh, Cherish, did you have a question? I just saw your video go on. You can open up.
Sorry, I'm just gonna get on. It's easier. Texting is too hard.
Yeah, that's why I saw your video go on. I was like, if you got a question, open up. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering, like, what I'm assuming that you guys use some kind of like software to track results and stuff. Is it like, do you, I don't know, do you use?
So you're talking about the results down here with the clients, right?
Yeah, or like, I mean, obviously there's results in all three of these areas, like in some way or form, but and you're somehow tracking them and keeping eyes on it. Are you just like writing your own notes on like Airtable or something? Or like, are you purchasing a software that you're tracking that does some maybe automated tracking for you?
Yep.
Like how is this automated or not?
Yeah. So I'll answer it 2 ways. I'll tell you how we started and what we're doing now. So how we started was simple Excel sheets, Google Sheets, just literally just kind of for our leads and conversions. Every single week, we actually still do this, is we're tracking how much did we spend on Facebook ads, how many leads did we get, how many sales did we get? And then that calculates return on ad spend and all that jazz. So that's one of the ways that we're doing with leads and conversions. For results, we used to do the same thing with our clients. We had a big Google Sheets with all of our clients. As our business has grown, we actually took this and put this into Monday. And so Monday.com is just a platform. It's like Asana or anything like that. It's a project management software. But that has allowed us to have more automations based on dates, based on actions, based on team members, assigning it to people. But basically what it is it's a glorified Excel sheet. And that's where we're tracking results. We're tracking, we actually ask our clients every single week what they're working on, what their clarity score is, what they're struggling with. And we're reviewing that as a team every single week. In addition to what else we're doing is we've broken the group into pods. And so the group is broken into pods, and each pod has a pod advisor. And so that pod advisor is also going deeper into the results that their pod is providing them. And then that person is coming back to the group and saying, hey, this person's struggling with this, I need support, or this person had this great win, I wanted to share it with you. So the team is reviewing it as a whole, and that's how we're tracking results now. Help? I see your assistant arrived. So, all right, great. Oops. Okay. And so if there aren't any other questions, I'd love to know what is your favorite piece of this? Is there anything that sticks out to you of like, oh my gosh, I need to implement this right away, or I can't wait to take action on this? What is your favorite piece that we went over today?
I would say that the multiple selling chances.
Okay, awesome.
So opening up like multiple funnels. I guess I've always just thought of maybe like 1 or 2 funnels, not having like multiple, which obviously makes sense to do that.
Yeah, awesome.
So yeah.
Perfect. I love that. Thank you. All right. Well, what we usually do on these calls is I do want to talk to you. Oh, great. Cheryl, Tiny Promise Timeline. Awesome. I love that. So we do have a program, Elevate, that can walk you through this. It's our program that we've developed. It's a done with you program where we work alongside you to install our rich niche lead system in your business. And I would love to share with you those details. And if anyone's interested, you can definitely message me and I can talk more about that. But this week, we're really focusing on how we can serve our audience even more. And one of our advisors, Candace James, she's an amazing human and she's also an amazing consultant. She has agreed that she would open up her calendar for 5 calls this week for anyone who's interested. Now, the reason why these calls are extremely important is she's our sales coach inside Elevate. And what she does is she actually helps people get more sales from their current audience. And the reason I asked her if she would be willing to do a call is that she's been doing a few calls with our clients lately, and she's had some amazing results. She actually just helped someone last week make $15,000 in an hour. And she mapped out the entire strategy, walked them through it, and had it implemented and done within 60 minutes. So I wanted to offer anyone who is interested on this call today a call with her. And the way to get it is simply to message me your email. You can just do a private message to Dan Culver. And just message me in the chat your email, and I will send you her link to book a call. And if you do have any questions on that, we can definitely open it up, but she has 5 spots available. So this is not going to be available to everyone, but if you are interested, just send me your email and I will send you her link, and you can book it. I would book it as quickly as possible because those spots will fill up. But I did want to make that special offer today because it's, to us, September is January. It's the new start to the year. We want to support you guys and we want to get you some money rolling in. And then obviously some of you are going to want some support implementing that system. And we can talk about that, our program at that time, if we think it's the right fit for you. But this is a great opportunity for you to experience Candace's brilliance and help you make some extra money in September. And yeah, I see some messages coming through now. So if you did message me, I will be shooting you that link in about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to do that before I even get my kids from school. But before we wrap, do we have any other questions? Anything else we should be going over? Any thoughts that you guys have that you wanted to review with me? Questions, thoughts, or ideas? Okay. Well, if there's no other questions, we are going to wrap. If you did send me your email, I'll be shooting an email very quickly. When you do get the link, just book a call as soon as possible, because like I said, there's only 5 spots and they will go quickly. So thank you so much for being here. And the other thing is, if you do want that rich niche training, just email hi@Nicole Culver and say rich niche, and we will respond to that and send that to you. But thank you all so much. Have a great day, and we will talk soon. Bye, everyone.